Hello, my friends. Please allow me to ask you a question today, especially those who are married. Why do many couples treat each other more roughly or even harshly after their wedding? For example, before the wedding, their words for each other were even sweeter than honey. But after the wedding, their mouth became bitter more easily. Or before the wedding, they gave their full attention to each other, listening with their best interests and respect, even to the smallest or most boring details of their lover's story. But after the wedding, they don't seem to enjoy listening that much anymore. And impatience seems to grow more in them. Of course, congratulations to those who do not have these problems. But those who do have them, why so? What happened? Some may say because after the wedding, the shortcomings of their spouse become more visible, and so conflicts arise more easily. Some others may say because after the wedding, they have to work a lot to take care of things, so they are tired and get cranky more frequently. Or still, some others would say because they have passed the period of dating, trying to win each other's heart, and so polite or sweet or gentle manners are not necessary anymore. Well, in reality, everyone naturally enjoys polite and sweet communications. And if they don't find it at home, they have a tendency to look for it elsewhere. Well, my friends, do you have any other reasons? As for me, based on my observation and experience, those reasons seem to be shallow or superficial. There is another reason beneath them or behind them that often causes them to happen. People who are sensitive enough and aware of it would be able to avoid a lot of troubles or problems for their relationships. Those who are not conscious of it suffer much more. I've had opportunities to share it with quite a few people, and they've told me that it was very helpful, very effective for their daily life. This feedback gave me some encouragement to make this reflection, to make this video clip, to share with you, with hope that you will also enjoy its benefits. Before talking about this reason, there are three absurd points to make here. First, no normal person wants conflicts with others, especially with their spouse. No one wants to get upset, cranky, or angry. No one wants to have stress and quarrels in their home. Okay, no one wants those things, and yet they still happen, often enough. Something absurd here, huh? Second, some people consider problems after the wedding as normal. However, their original purpose when they decided to get married was to create a better life, a happy home. According to this purpose, normal should mean that they are happier, sweeter, warmer, more sympathetic, etc. But the opposite is happening. Of course, no one is perfect and people are different. So it's okay that some reactions, some conflicts arise once in a while and at a reasonable degree to make them understand each other better and become more mature. It's okay. However, considering problems that affect their life the mutual life as normal is actually abnormal. Why? Because the problems will accumulate and destroy their precious relationships. Third, their quarrels, conflicts, or even breakups, often enough, are caused by trivial and insignificant things. Now, the love between husband and wife and their family happiness, which are among the most important life values, is damaged by nonsense. There is something absurd here. Okay, my friends, let me now share with you the reason beneath rough and harsh behaviors in our mutual life, particularly in marriage. This reason is simple. There is a third person or figure who is hidden and intelligent, and who always looks for any ways to destroy the most precious things of each of us. Very simple, huh? Let me repeat it for you once again so that you can kind of let it settle in. There is a third person or figure who is hidden and intelligent, and who always looks for any ways to destroy our most precious things in life. Well, let's divide this sentence into smaller parts and do some analysis so you can see the point more clearly. There is a third person or figure. Who is this? It's the common enemy of human beings. It is never tired of trying to destroy our happiness. It hates to see us happy. I hope you know right away who I am talking about. Here once again, my friends, I see clearly the great fortune, the great advantage of those who have a religious background or spiritual belief or faith. Someone may suggest me not to use a spiritual content or term to talk about this matter. But my friends, really, it's impossible not to talk about one of the most natural parts of our human structure that we all have when we were born. I'm sorry, but really, there's no better way to access and solve this difficulty in our human reality, in our human relationships, without touching this essential part of who we are, the part that 99.999% of humanity acknowledges and enjoys its benefits. We have this natural part, which is the spiritual dimension, built in our human structure. It is there. It's always there. Anyway, the third person, the common enemy of ours, is the devil or Satan. It is the human hater, number one hater. Next, the word hidden. One of the most common tricks or techniques Satan uses is stabbing in the back. It hides itself behind each person to tempt and manipulate. Often enough, we are attacked without being conscious of the troublemaker behind our back. And so we fail to see its presence in our tense situation. Consequently, we turn our arrows toward the person in front of us who is our loved one. We fail to see the real troublemaker behind us and behind our loved one. Please note that I'm talking about Satan's presence in its subtle and perhaps most common form. I'm not talking about rarer forms such as demonic obsession or possession or mental illnesses. No, these forms must be treated properly by experts and doctors. The next word is intelligent. By nature, Satan is more intelligent than humans. Therefore, if we fight Satan by our own strength, we are more likely to be defeated. Since Satan is the father of lies, we need to unite ourselves with the sources of truth, which have higher intelligence and power. When we do that, we will win. And we always have those sources available. The next words are who always looks for anyways, meaning the devil has many tricks to cause damage, and it takes advantage of any situation to attack each and everyone. That's why trivial things and nonsense can become reasons for serious conflicts. That's why tension can suddenly arise. There's a tricky technique of Satan worth remembering here. Satan attacks everyone at the same time. Please remember this clearly. Everyone at the same time. If there are two people, for example, husband and wife, it will hide itself behind both of them to manipulate at the same time. Whoever thinks that only the other person is being attacked is already misled and cheated by the devil, of course. Let me also mention here that two most vulnerable human faculties are our ego and emotion. Satan provokes our ego to set a trap that many have fallen into. The trap is the mentality of self-righteousness. I'm right, the other person is wrong. Or at least I'm more right, more logical, more reasonable. Me first. Consequently, each person tries to win the battle, but the more one tries to win for oneself, the more their relationship suffers. When tension appears, to defeat Satan, at least one person has to be courageous enough to lose in order to gain victory for their family. Emotion, it's an unstable thing, very unstable. Satan knows this, of course, and Satan takes advantage of this feature of our emotion to shake our mind and our heart. For example, it tries to disturb our feeling with negative past. The person who falls into this trap will bring back bad memories of the past to cause damage and hurt. So be careful, please. The next word is to destroy. Satan has only one goal, which is to cause destruction in any form to anyone. And lastly, the most precious things of each person. What are they? The most obvious precious things are our life, our family, our love, our inner peace. Therefore, besides being manipulated to attack our loved one or loved ones, we are also tempted to attack ourselves and create in us a civil war. Causing a civil war is the most effective with the lowest cost for the enemy. So Satan knows exactly what it is doing. You may ask, Satan always seeks to destroy us. Is there any way we can discover it when it appears? How do we know when it attacks us? How? This question seems very complicated, but it is actually simple to answer. We just need to remember one word: violence. Violence, yes, violence. When we remember this word often, we will be able to avoid a lot of attacks and damages. Violence appears in many forms. For example, in our mind, when we have bad, evil thoughts, or in our mouth, when we speak negative, abusive, divisive words, or in our action, when we hurt someone or hurt ourselves, etc. There are forms of violence that are quite subtle and hard to recognize. If we are not attentive enough, we may not be able to detect them. So the question is, how can we detect these forms of violence? There's one sure way that I discovered. Just pay attention to our inner peace. When our peace is being shook, violence is present. Satan is acting. It is there. The inner peace is being shook. When observing carefully ourselves, we will sense and recognize a movement of negative energy inside us whenever violence appears. There's a form of upsetness in our mind and in our emotion. We need to be calm and quiet to recognize this movement. Hopefully, each of us can create in us a space to observe our inner self and develop a habit of discovering the movement of violent energy in us. There's a flow of negative energy in us. So watch out. That's violence. That's Satan acting. Whoever discovers this hidden enemy in time will know how to neutralize it and its manipulation and attacks, and avoid damages caused by ridiculous tension and nonsense. Let's take a quick example before closing this reflection. You and your spouse get into a quarrel, for instance. Immediately, both of you will be tempted to use your ego and emotion to fight, to win. You will sense a flow of energy emerging onto your face, into your eyes, your voice, your hands and your feet, which makes you feel irritated, agitated, heart burning, something happening there. If you lose your calmness, you will only see in front of you an ugly person, an upsetting person, a troublemaker. But who is this person? That's your loved one. That's your precious spouse. But if you manage to keep calm and observe the situation, you will discover that behind you and behind your spouse is the enemy, trying to manipulate you both at the same time. Of course, Once you discover it, you will know how to neutralize its attacks. For example, you may choose to keep silent and choose to lose this battle in order to win for your family. My friends, a last helpful suggestion for you. When tension appears, ask a quick question. How many people or figures are in this negative situation? How many? And you begin to count. You, the other person, your spouse, your friend, whoever, and who else? And who else? Please do not forget to count the enemy, who is always there, ready to attack in any possible way. At the same time, again, you will be able to free yourselves and your relationships from its attacks in many situations in life, especially in your family. My friends, thank you very much for listening. I hope this simple reflection is helpful to you.